Before we begin, a quick and important reminder. The information provided in this video is for educational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have seen in this presentation. The creators of this video are not medical professionals. Let's be honest for a second. How many Mondays have you started with the promise? This is it. This is the week. You clean out the fridge, you buy the kale, you dust off the treadmill. You lose 3, maybe 5 pounds. You feel incredible, unstoppable. You can practically taste the victory. And then life happens. A stressful day at work, a birthday party, a weekend with friends. And that little voice starts whispering, just one bite won't hurt. Before you know it, you're standing in front of an open refrigerator at midnight, the momentum is gone, and by the next Monday those 5 pounds are back and they've brought a friend. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. It's a soul-crushing cycle that millions of Americans are trapped in right now. It's a cycle fueled by a multi-billion-dollar diet industry that, frankly, profits from your confusion. They sell you complicated plans, expensive prepackaged meals, and miracle pills with ingredients you can't even pronounce. They want you to believe that the solution to weight loss is complex, that it's something you have to buy. But what if I told you that was the biggest lie of all? What if the key to breaking that cycle, to finally getting your body to work with you instead of against you, wasn't in a fancy bottle or a restrictive diet book? What if it was already sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now? We're about to pull back the curtain on a simple, powerful, and incredibly effective weight loss remedy you can craft at home using ingredients that are probably within arm's reach. We're talking about common, everyday staples you'd find in any American kitchen. This isn't magic. It's science. It's about understanding how to combine these humble ingredients to create a synergistic effect that helps kick your metabolism into a higher gear, helps regulate your blood sugar, and supports your body's natural fat-burning processes. Forget the expensive powders and complicated routines. We are going back to basics, back to the potent wisdom that's been hiding in plain sight all along. The absolute cornerstone of this remedy, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the pantry, is raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Vinegar? For weight loss? It sounds like an old wives' tale, something your grandmother might have sworn by. But modern science is finally catching up to grandma's wisdom. The magic ingredient in apple cider vinegar, or ACV as we'll call it, is a compound called acetic acid. This is what gives vinegar its sour taste and pungent smell. But it's also what makes it a metabolic powerhouse. Here's how it works in simple terms. When you consume ACV before a meal, the acetic acid goes to work helping to slow down the rate at which your stomach empties. Think of it like a traffic controller for your food. Instead of a rush of carbohydrates hitting your system all at once, leading to a massive spike in blood sugar, and the inevitable crash that leaves you craving more junk, the acetic acid ensures a slower, more controlled release. This is absolutely critical. Why? Because stable blood sugar levels mean fewer cravings, more sustained energy, and less of the hormone insulin being released. Insulin is often called the fat storage hormone, for a reason. When its levels are high, your body is in storage mode. When its levels are stable and low, your body is much more likely to switch over to fat-burning mode. So by simply managing that process with a little ACV, you are fundamentally changing the hormonal signal you're sending to your body from store fat to burn fat. But that's not all. Studies have also shown that acetic acid can increase feelings of fullness or satiety. This means you naturally feel satisfied with smaller portions. It's not about willpower, it's about biochemistry. You simply won't want to eat as much. One landmark study published in the Journal of Functional Foods found that participants who consumed vinegar with a high-carb meal ate 200 to 275 fewer calories throughout the rest of the day. That's not a small number. Do that every day and the numbers really start to add up without you feeling deprived or hungry. The key, however, and this is a non-negotiable, is that you must use raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar that contains the mother. That cloudy, stringy stuff floating at the bottom is a colony of beneficial bacteria, proteins, and enzymes. The clear, filtered vinegar on the shelf has been pasteurized, killing off all these beneficial compounds. It's like the difference between a living, breathing forest and a parking lot. You need the one with the mother to get the full spectrum of benefits. Now, the second pillar of our home remedy is something you see every single day: the humble lemon. Lemons are more than just a garnish for your iced tea. They are a detoxification and digestive dynamo. First and foremost, starting your day with lemon water is one of the easiest ways to rehydrate your body after a long night's sleep. Hydration is one of the most overlooked aspects of weight loss. Your body's metabolism, the very engine that burns calories, runs on water. Even mild dehydration can cause your metabolism to slow down. Think of it like trying to run a car with thick sludgy oil. It just doesn't work efficiently. By hydrating first thing, you're essentially giving your metabolic engine a clean oil change to start the day. Furthermore, lemons are packed with vitamin C, a powerful antioxidant. When you're trying to lose weight, your body is under a certain amount of stress. You're breaking down fat cells, which can release stored toxins. Antioxidants are like your body's personal cleanup crew, helping to neutralize these harmful free radicals and reduce inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a hidden driver of weight gain and metabolic dysfunction, so anything you can do to combat it is a huge step in the right direction. And let's talk about digestion. The citric acid in lemons can supplement your stomach's natural acid levels, which helps you break down food more effectively. As we age, our natural stomach acid production can decline, leading to poor digestion, bloating, and nutrient malabsorption. Better digestion means you're getting more nutrients from your food, which leads to greater satiety and fewer cravings for empty calories. So the lemon works in tandem with the apple cider vinegar. The ACV controls the speed of digestion, while the lemon helps improve the quality of digestion. These two ingredients alone are incredibly potent, but the real magic, the thing that turns this from a healthy drink into a true metabolic catalyst, happens when you introduce the thermic agents. These are the ingredients that literally help your body produce more heat, burning more calories in the process. We're talking about things like cayenne pepper and Ceylon cinnamon. These aren't just spices for flavor. They are active compounds that can give your metabolism a noticeable nudge. The power of cayenne lies in its active component, capsaicin. It's what gives chili peppers their heat. When you consume capsaicin, it triggers a process called thermogenesis. Your body's core temperature slightly increases, and to cool itself down, it has to expend energy. And where does it get that energy? From your stored calories, aka fat. It's like turning up the thermostat in your house just a little bit, forcing the furnace to kick on and burn more fuel. The effect from a single dose is modest, but when it becomes part of your daily ritual, it contributes to a significant cumulative calorie burn over time. Then you have cinnamon, specifically Ceylon cinnamon, which is often called true cinnamon. It's different from the more common cassia cinnamon you usually find in the supermarket. Ceylon cinnamon is a powerhouse for blood sugar control, working synergistically with the apple cider vinegar. It contains compounds that can actually mimic insulin and improve your cell's sensitivity to it. Think of it this way. If your cells are insulin resistant, it's like their doors are rusty and won't open properly to let glucose in for energy. Your body's response is to pump out even more insulin to try and force the doors open, and all that excess insulin promotes fat storage. Cinnamon helps to oil those rusty hinges, so your cells become more responsive. Less insulin is needed, your blood sugar stays stable, and your body can more easily access its fat stores for fuel. So you see, this isn't just about mixing a few ingredients in a glass. It's about creating a strategic synergistic blend. You have the apple cider vinegar managing your blood sugar and appetite. You have the lemon supporting hydration and digestion. And you have the cayenne and cinnamon turning up your internal furnace. Each ingredient has a specific job, but they all work together toward the same goal: creating an internal environment that is primed for fat loss. This is the foundation. And in the parts to come, we will show you the exact recipe, the precise ratios, and the critical timing you need to follow to unlock the full potential of this simple, yet incredibly powerful at-home remedy. So let's pull back the curtain. This isn't about some exotic, impossible-to-find berry from a remote mountain top. The power we're about to unlock is sitting right there, in your kitchen pantry, likely overlooked. The magic isn't in the ingredients themselves, but in their precise combination, a synergy that creates an effect far greater than the sum of its parts. Think of it like a 3-digit combination lock. You can have one number, you can even have two, but until you have all three in the right order, the vault remains sealed. The vault, in this case, is your body's stubborn fat stores. We begin with the cornerstone, the undisputed heavyweight champion of kitchen remedies: raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar. Now hold on. I know what you're thinking. Apple cider vinegar? That's it. I hear you. For years it's been touted as a cure-all, and that kind of hype can create skepticism. But I want you to forget everything you think you know about it. Forget the fads. We need to look at this ingredient not as a magic potion, but as a biological tool. Its power is rooted in one key component: acetic acid. Acetic acid is the secret weapon. When you consume apple cider vinegar, this compound goes to work inside your body on multiple fronts. First, it's a master of appetite control. It's been shown to increase feelings of fullness, which means you naturally eat less without feeling deprived. It's not about willpower, it's about biochemistry. It sends a signal to your brain that says, hey, we're good here, helping you cut down on those extra calories that add up over time. But that's just the opening act. The main event is what acetic acid does to your blood sugar and insulin levels. This is critical. Every time you eat, especially carbohydrates, your blood sugar rises, and your body releases insulin to manage it. Insulin's job is to shuttle that sugar into your cells for energy. But here's the problem. When there's too much sugar and too much insulin, your body gets overwhelmed. It flips a switch, and instead of burning that sugar, it starts storing it as fat. Insulin is, fundamentally, a fat storage hormone. Acetic acid acts like a brilliant traffic cop during this rush hour. It slows down the rate at which your stomach empties, which means sugar enters your bloodstream more slowly and steadily. This prevents the dramatic spike in blood sugar and the subsequent flood of insulin. Less insulin means your body gets a clear signal: stop storing fat and start burning it for fuel. It's a subtle shift, but it changes the entire metabolic game. It fundamentally alters the hormonal environment from one of fat storage to one of fat burning. But not all apple cider vinegar is created equal. This is non-negotiable. You must use the raw, unfiltered, unpasteurized kind. The one that looks cloudy and has that weird, stringy stuff floating at the bottom. That's called the mother. And it's a colony of beneficial bacteria, enzymes, and proteins. This is the living, breathing heart of the vinegar. The clear, pristine-looking vinegars on the shelf have been filtered and pasteurized, a process that kills the mother and strips away many of its most powerful properties. You wouldn't try to grow a forest with sterilized seeds, and you shouldn't try to rebalance your metabolism with dead vinegar. You need the living, potent, cloudy original. Now we have our cornerstone. But a cornerstone alone doesn't make a house. It needs support. It needs a catalyst. Our second ingredient is a vibrant, universally recognized symbol of freshness and cleansing: the humble lemon. Again, don't dismiss its simplicity. We aren't just adding lemon for flavor. The lemon plays a very specific and crucial role that complements the apple cider vinegar perfectly. Everyone knows lemons are packed with vitamin C, a powerful antioxidant. But its real secret for our remedy lies in its citric acid and its surprising effect on the body's pH. Let's talk about energy. At a cellular level, your body generates energy through a process called the Krebs cycle. It's the engine in every one of your cells. And what's one of the key compounds that kickstarts that cycle? Citrate, which is derived from the citric acid in lemons. So, by introducing lemon juice into our remedy, we are essentially helping to prime the pump of our cellular engines. It's like turning the key in the ignition, telling your metabolism to wake up and start burning fuel more efficiently. But here's the really fascinating part: the alkaline effect. It seems counterintuitive, right? Lemons are acidic, but once metabolized by the body, they have an alkalizing effect. In our modern American diet, filled with processed foods, sugars, and grains, our bodies tend to lean towards a state of low-grade chronic acidity. This acidic state is a breeding ground for inflammation, and inflammation is a major roadblock to weight loss. It messes with your hormones, slows your metabolism, and makes your body cling to fat. The alkalizing effect of the lemon helps to counteract this. It creates a more balanced internal environment, reducing inflammation and allowing your metabolic processes to function as they should. So, think of the synergy here. The apple cider vinegar is managing your blood sugar and telling your body to stop storing fat. At the same time, the lemon is priming your cellular engines to burn more fuel and creating an alkaline environment that reduces inflammation, clearing the path for fat loss to occur. They aren't just two good ingredients. They are two partners working in a coordinated dance. The lemon prepares the stage, and the vinegar delivers the main performance. We now have a powerful duo, but the trinity is not yet complete. We need a regulator, an element that can take the effects of the first two and fine-tune them, adding another layer of metabolic control. This third ingredient is a warm aromatic spice that has been prized for thousands of years, once considered more valuable than gold. We're talking about cinnamon. And just like with the vinegar, the type matters immensely. We are not talking about the common cassia cinnamon you find in most supermarkets. While it has some benefits, it also contains higher levels of a compound called coumarin, which can be harmful in large doses. The cinnamon you want is Ceylon cinnamon, often called true cinnamon. It's lighter in color, has a more delicate, complex flavor, and is much safer for regular consumption. Cinnamon's superpower is its profound ability to regulate blood sugar. It works in a way that is almost unbelievable for a simple spice. Certain compounds in cinnamon can actually mimic insulin. They can attach to insulin receptors on your cells and help shuttle glucose out of the bloodstream and into the cells to be used for energy. This is huge. It means your pancreas doesn't have to work as hard, producing less insulin overall. Remember, less insulin is the key to shifting your body out of fat storage mode. Furthermore, cinnamon makes your cells more sensitive to the insulin that is produced. Many people struggling with weight gain are dealing with some level of insulin resistance, where their cells have started to ignore insulin signal. Cinnamon comes in and essentially resensitizes those cells. It's like it cleans off the locks so the insulin key can work properly again. So now let's look at our completed trinity. We have apple cider vinegar slowing sugar absorption and blocking fat storage. We have lemon priming the metabolic engine and reducing inflammation. And now we have cinnamon, which is actively helping to clear sugar from the blood and restoring insulin sensitivity. Do you see the loop? Each ingredient enhances the actions of the others. The cinnamon makes the vinegar's job of managing blood sugar even easier. The lemon's anti-inflammatory action creates a better environment for the cinnamon to improve insulin sensitivity. It's a beautifully designed, self-reinforcing system created from 3 simple kitchen staples. This trio forms the core of our remedy. This is the engine. But an engine, no matter how powerful, can be harsh, can be difficult to handle. And this combination, with the acidity of the vinegar and lemon, can be sharp on the palate. But what if we could add another component? Something that not only smooths out the harshness and makes this remedy genuinely pleasant to drink, but also brings its own unique set of fat-burning and health-boosting properties to the table. The next ingredient isn't just a sweetener. It's a functional powerhouse that completes the formula, turning a potent remedy into a delicious daily ritual. And that is exactly where we are headed next. So let's talk about that powerhouse. We're talking about raw, unfiltered honey. And I need you to hear me very clearly on this. The honey you choose is arguably the most critical decision in this entire formula. We are not talking about the golden, perfectly clear, squeezy bare honey that sits on most supermarket shelves. That stuff? It's often so heavily processed, pasteurized at high temperatures, and ultra-filtered that it's little more than honey-flavored sugar syrup. The intense heat destroys the vast majority of the delicate enzymes, antioxidants, and bee pollen that make honey a true superfood. In some cases, unscrupulous producers even dilute it with high-fructose corn syrup. Using that kind of honey in this remedy would be like trying to build a house with cardboard. It looks the part from a distance, but it has zero structural integrity. Raw, unfiltered honey is a completely different animal. It's honey as nature intended, cloudy, thick, and often containing tiny specks of pollen and propolis. It might even be crystallized or solidified in the jar, which, by the way, is a fantastic sign of its purity and quality. This is the living, breathing version of honey, teeming with the very compounds that will supercharge our weight loss elixir. So how exactly does a form of sugar help you lose weight? It sounds completely counterintuitive, a paradox that goes against everything we've been told. But this is where we dive into the fascinating biochemistry of the human body. The secret lies in how raw honey strategically interacts with your liver and your brain, particularly while you sleep. When you consume a small amount of raw honey before bed, its unique combination of fructose and glucose is the perfect fuel for your liver. The liver converts these sugars into glycogen and stores it. A fully stocked liver glycogen store sends a powerful signal to your brain that says, "We're safe. We're fueled. There's no famine here." This signal prevents your brain from triggering a crisis response overnight, a response that would normally involve pumping out stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Why is this a big deal? Because high levels of cortisol are a weight loss nightmare. Cortisol signals your body to store fat, especially around the midsection. It breaks down muscle tissue for energy and can lead to intense sugar cravings the next day. By simply keeping your liver's fuel tank topped off with the right kind of fuel, raw honey, you prevent this entire hormonal cascade. Instead of running on stress hormones, your body is free to switch on its fat-burning recovery hormones, effectively turning your 8 hours of sleep into a gentle, passive, fat-burning session. You're essentially hacking your sleep metabolism. This isn't about a massive calorie burn, but about optimizing your hormonal environment to favor fat loss over fat storage, day in and day out. But the magic doesn't stop when you wake up. Raw honey also plays a crucial role in managing appetite and cravings throughout the day. Unlike refined sugar or high-fructose corn syrup, which cause a violent spike and subsequent crash in your blood sugar levels, raw honey has a lower glycemic index. This means it provides a slower, more sustained release of energy. That blood sugar crash is what sends you running for a donut or a bag of chips mid-afternoon. By stabilizing your blood sugar, honey helps to short-circuit that craving cycle before it even begins. The sweetness satisfies your immediate desire, but the composition of the honey itself works behind the scenes to keep you feeling fuller and more stable for longer. It's a proactive strike against the mindless snacking that so often derails our best intentions. Furthermore, we can't ignore the gut. We've already established how apple cider vinegar and lemon juice create a better environment for your digestive system. Raw honey takes this to the next level. It acts as a powerful prebiotic. Prebiotics are essentially food for the good bacteria, the probiotics, that live in your gut. A thriving, diverse gut microbiome is one of the most important and most overlooked pillars of sustainable weight management. These beneficial bacteria help regulate your metabolism, reduce inflammation, improve nutrient absorption, and can even influence the hormones that control hunger and satiety, like ghrelin and leptin. By feeding these microscopic allies with raw honey, you're not just drinking a weight loss remedy, you're cultivating an internal ecosystem that is hardwired for health and a healthy weight. And the benefits of incorporating real, raw honey into your life extend far beyond the numbers on a scale. It's a potent source of antioxidants, including phenolic acids and flavonoids, which are powerful compounds that fight oxidative stress in your body. Think of oxidative stress as a kind of biological rust, contributing to chronic inflammation, premature aging, and a host of diseases. Chronic inflammation itself is a major roadblock to weight loss, so by tackling it with the antioxidants in honey, you're clearing another pathway to success. It's also a world-renowned natural cough suppressant. Studies have shown it can be more effective than some over-the-counter medications, soothing a sore throat and calming a cough, which is an incredible bonus during cold and flu season. Historically, it's been used for millennia as a wound dressing due to its natural antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. It creates a protective barrier, keeps the wound moist, and its enzymes can actually produce small amounts of hydrogen peroxide, helping to keep infections at bay. Now, we're not suggesting you put this drink on a cut, but understanding this deep, historical, and medicinal context shows you that this isn't just a sweetener. It's a legitimate, functional food with a profound ability to support the human body. So, how do you find this liquid gold? First, ignore the squeezy bears. Head to your local farmer's market, a health food store, or a trusted online apiary. Look for jars that are explicitly labeled raw and unfiltered. Don't be afraid of cloudy honey. Don't be afraid of honey that has crystallized and turned solid. In fact, seek it out. That crystallization process, called granulation, happens because the glucose in the honey separates from the water. It's a natural process that only happens in pure, raw honey that hasn't been heated and heavily processed. You can easily return it to a liquid state by gently warming the jar in a bowl of warm water. Supporting your local beekeepers is a win-win. You get the highest quality product, and you support the vital pollinators that our entire food system depends on. When you put it all together, the picture becomes crystal clear. We have the apple cider vinegar, working to stabilize blood sugar and rev up your metabolism. We have the lemon juice, providing a blast of vitamin C, aiding digestion, and supporting your liver. And now we have the raw honey, the master regulator that makes the formula palatable, works overnight to balance your fat-burning hormones, feeds your beneficial gut bacteria, and tames your daytime cravings. It's not just an addition. It's the keystone that locks the other two ingredients into a powerful synergistic arch. This isn't just a drink anymore. It's a metabolic cocktail, a gut-healing elixir, and an inflammation-fighting tonic all in one. Each ingredient is a champion in its own right. But a team of champions is useless without the right game plan. Simply throwing these three ingredients into a glass is a rookie mistake. The specific recipe, the exact measurements, the temperature of the water, and the precise time of day you consume this drink are the secrets that unlock its true, explosive, fat-burning potential. Getting the ratios wrong can, at best, render it ineffective and at worst upset your system. We've gathered the players. Now it's time to learn the play. And that's the code we are cracking next. The first rule of this ancient alchemy is temperature. We're not making tea. We're not brewing a harsh concoction. We are activating delicate, living compounds. Your water must be warm, not boiling. Think of it like waking someone up gently, not with a blaring alarm. Boiling water is an assassin. It will obliterate the fragile enzymes in the apple cider vinegar and the potent antioxidants in the lemon. It scalds the ginger and neutralizes the very life force we're trying to harness. The perfect temperature is around 120 degrees Fahrenheit, warm enough to dissolve the ingredients, to create a soothing, welcoming bath for your system, but cool enough to preserve every ounce of their power. This isn't just a suggestion. It is the foundational law upon which this entire remedy is built. Get this wrong and you might as well be drinking hot water. Get it right, and you've prepared the perfect stage for the magic to begin. Into this carefully prepared warm water, we introduce our star player, the raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar. And here, precision is not just important, it is everything. The exact measurement you need is 1 tablespoon. Not 2, not a random splash. 1 tablespoon. Why so specific? Because this is the clinically observed dose that kickstarts the process of improving insulin sensitivity and firing up your metabolism without overwhelming your digestive system. More than this, especially when you're starting, and you risk acid reflux or erosion of tooth enamel over time. It's a powerful tool, not a blunt instrument. And it must be raw and unfiltered, with the mother visible as cloudy strands. That mother is a colony of beneficial bacteria, proteins, and enzymes. It's the living heart of the vinegar. Using clear, filtered, pasteurized apple cider vinegar is like bringing a plastic knife to a sword fight. You get the sour taste, but you lose the entire army of probiotics that work to rebalance your gut microbiome. The very command center of your body's weight management system. 1 tablespoon of the real, cloudy stuff is your non-negotiable first step. Next comes the catalyst, the spark that ignites the ACV's potential. Fresh lemon juice. We need the juice of 1/2 of a fresh lemon. Not bottled juice. Bottled juice is a ghost of what it once was. It's often heated, concentrated, and contains preservatives that can interfere with the delicate chemical reactions we're trying to create. Squeezing it fresh ensures you get the maximum amount of vitamin C, citric acid, and potent polyphenol. Now, here's the beautiful paradox of lemon. It's acidic to the taste, but it has an alkalizing effect on your body once metabolized. This is crucial. Our modern American diet is often highly acidic, which can lead to inflammation and make it harder for the body to release stubborn fat. The lemon juice acts as a gentle reset button, helping to nudge your body's pH back towards a more alkaline state where your cells can function optimally. It's not just a flavoring, it's a biological switch. It works in tandem with the ACV, creating a 1-2 punch that cleanses the liver and primes your digestive tract to absorb every nutrient you consume throughout the day, turning food into fuel, not fat. Now we build the thermogenic engine. This is where we add the spice, the heat, the fire. We start with fresh ginger. You need a 1-inch piece finely grated. Again, fresh is king. Dry ginger powder is okay in a pinch, but it lacks the full spectrum of gingerols, the active compounds that give ginger its anti-inflammatory and digestive soothing power. Grating it fresh ruptures the cell walls, releasing these volatile oils directly into your drink. Ginger is the ultimate digestive aid. It soothes the stomach, reduces bloating, and helps your body process food more efficiently. It's like a gentle internal massage for your entire GI tract. Alongside the ginger, we add 1/2 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon. I must specify Ceylon cinnamon, not the more common cassia cinnamon you find in most grocery stores. Cassia contains high levels of a compound called coumarin, which can be harmful to the liver in large doses. Ceylon, or true cinnamon, is safer and more potent in its ability to regulate blood sugar. This is its superpower. It helps prevent the sharp insulin spikes that lead to sugar cravings and fat storage. When you combine the digestive power of ginger with the blood sugar stabilization of cinnamon, you're not just adding flavor. You are assembling a metabolic support system. You're telling your body, don't store this energy. Burn it clean. For those who are ready to take it to the next level, we add the accelerator. A single dash of cayenne pepper. This is the equivalent of hitting the nitrous button on your metabolism. Cayenne contains capsaicin, the compound that gives it its heat. When you ingest capsaicin, it triggers a process called diet-induced thermogenesis. It literally, physically raises your body's core temperature. To cool itself down, your body has to work harder, and that work requires energy, which it gets by burning calories specifically from your fat stores. It's a metabolic trick, a biological hack. But you must respect its power. Start with just a tiny pinch, few grains. You should feel a gentle warmth spreading through your chest, not a 5-alarm fire in your throat. This ingredient is optional, but for those looking for the maximum fat-burning effect, that tiny pinch of cayenne can amplify the results of all the other ingredients exponentially. It's the final gear in our fat-burning machine. Now we must address the elephant in the room, the taste. For some, this combination will be a bracing, invigorating wake-up call. For others, it will be challenging. The temptation is to drown it in honey. Do not do this. You cannot fight fat with a flood of sugar, even if it's natural. However, if you absolutely must add a touch of sweetness, you may use 1/2 teaspoon, no more, of raw, unfiltered honey. Just like the ACV, the key is raw and unfiltered. This kind of honey is not just a sweetener. It contains enzymes, antioxidants, and prebiotic properties that can actually benefit your gut health. It's a functional sweetener, but its primary component is still sugar. Using more than 1/2 teaspoon will spike your blood sugar, which is the very thing the cinnamon is working so hard to prevent. You'll be pitting your own ingredients against each other. So, if you use it with discipline. See it as a tool to help you stay consistent, not as a crutch to mask the flavor. The goal is to adapt to the taste, to appreciate its potency, not to turn your remedy into a dessert. The final piece of the code is not an ingredient but a ritual. The order and method of mixing matters. First, add your grated ginger and cinnamon to your mug. Then pour the warm, not hot water over them. This allows the water to begin gently extracting the compounds from the spices. Stir slowly for 30 seconds. Let it steep for 1 minute. You are creating an infusion, a base. After it has steeped, you then stir in your 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Finally, you squeeze in the fresh juice of 1/2 lemon. Why this order? We protect the most delicate ingredients, the ACV and lemon juice, from the initial heat of the water. We give the heartier spices time to release their essence. It's a mindful process. By doing it this way, you're not just mixing a drink, you're consciously crafting your remedy each day. This small ritual reinforces your commitment. And at the very end, if you're using them, you stir in the dash of cayenne and the optional 1/2 teaspoon of raw honey. Stir until just combined. Let it sit for one final moment. Now it's ready. The formula is complete. The code is cracked. You hold in your hands a perfectly balanced, synergistic elixir designed to awaken your metabolism. But crafting the perfect remedy is only half the battle. You can have the most powerful weapon in the world, but it's useless if you don't know when to use it. The timing of when you drink this concoction is just as critical, if not more critical, than the ingredients themselves. Drinking it at the wrong time of day could cut its effectiveness in half, or worse, work against your goals. There is a specific window, a golden hour in your day, when your body is perfectly primed to receive this remedy and use it to incinerate fat for hours on end. And that precise timing is what we're revealing next. It's a concept that military strategists and master chess players have understood for centuries. Timing isn't just one thing, it's everything. You can have the most powerful army in the world, but if you attack at the wrong moment, you lose. You can have the perfect weight loss remedy, packed with all the right ingredients, but if you drink it at the wrong time, you're essentially sending your best soldiers into an ambush. Your body operates on a strict internal schedule, a rhythm that dictates everything from your energy levels to your hormone production to, most importantly, your ability to burn fat. This is your circadian rhythm, your body's 24-hour internal clock, and learning to work with it, not against it, is the secret that separates frustrating plateaus from effortless progress. Think of your metabolism as the most efficient factory on the planet. During the night while you're asleep, it's running a skeleton crew. The main production lines are down, and the focus is on cleaning, repair, and maintenance, what we call cellular regeneration. But as the sun rises, the factory whistle blows. The morning shift clocks in, the heavy machinery starts to roar to life, and the entire facility gears up for a full day of production. This is your metabolism waking up. There is a very specific window, right as this morning shift is starting, where the factory manager, your brain, is deciding what fuel to use for the day. Will it burn the readily available, easy-to-use sugars from your last meal? Or will it tap into the long-term reserves, the stubborn fat stored in your warehouse? The remedy we've crafted is designed to be the first memo that lands on the manager's desk, a directive that says, "Today we burn the reserves." Today we burn fat. So what is this golden hour? The optimal time to take this remedy is within 30 to 60 minutes of waking up. Not after you shower. Not on your way to work. Not once you get to the office. Within 1 hour of your eyes opening, and critically, before you consume any other food. Before your coffee, before your toast, before your so-called healthy smoothie. This is non-negotiable, and here's the biological reason why. The moment you wake up, your body experiences something called the cortisol awakening response, or CAR. Now I know what you're thinking. Cortisol? Isn't that the stress hormone that causes belly fat? Yes and no. In the right context, cortisol is your friend. This morning spike is a completely natural and healthy signal that tells your body, time to get up and go. It's a mobilizing hormone. Its job is to break down energy stores to fuel your morning activity. By introducing our remedy during this precise cortisol spike, you are providing a powerful cofactor. You are essentially telling your body, hey, while you're breaking down energy, I want you to specifically target these fat cells right here. You hijack this natural process and aim it directly at your fat stores, turning your body's natural wake-up call into a targeted fat-burning missile. If you wait too long, that cortisol spike subsides and you've missed the window. The opportunity is gone. Secondly, your insulin sensitivity is at its absolute peak in the morning. Insulin is the storage hormone. After you eat, your body releases insulin to shuttle the glucose from your food into your cells for energy. When you are insulin resistant, which many of us are to some degree, your cells don't respond well. The body has to pump out more and more insulin to do the job. And excess insulin is a loud, clear signal for your body to stop burning fat and start storing it. But in the morning, your cells are fresh, rested, and incredibly receptive to insulin. By drinking this remedy on an empty stomach, you are preparing your body for your first meal. The ingredients help stabilize your blood sugar and improve how your cells respond to that initial insulin release. This means when you do eat breakfast, the energy is efficiently used by your muscles and brain, not immediately rerouted to your fat cells. You are setting a stable, fat-burning metabolic tone for the entire day, preventing the blood sugar roller coaster that leads to cravings and energy crashes later on. Let me tell you about Sarah, a client of mine from outside Chicago. Sarah was the picture of effort. She packed her salads for lunch every day, she religiously went to her spin classes 3 times a week, and she drank a gallon of water a day. She was doing everything she'd read about in magazines and online, but the scale wouldn't budge. In fact, after months of trying, she had actually gained 2 pounds. She was frustrated, demoralized, and on the verge of giving up, convinced her body was just broken. She was already using a morning drink with similar ingredients to our remedy, lemon, a touch of cayenne, the works. So the ingredients weren't the problem. The problem was her routine. She'd wake up at 6 a.m., a whirlwind of activity to get her 2 kids ready for school. She'd get them fed, get herself dressed, and fly out the door by 7:30. She'd finally make her healthy drink around 9 a.m. at her desk, after she'd already had a large coffee with cream and sugar from the office break room. We made one single change. I told her, Sarah, the moment your alarm goes off, before your feet even hit the floor, I want you to have this drink pre-made and waiting on your nightstand. That was it. No other changes to her diet, no extra workouts. The first few days she said she didn't notice much. But by the end of the first week, something shifted. She told me she wasn't ravenously hungry by 10 a.m. anymore. That desperate need for a mid-morning snack just vanished. By week 2, she felt her energy levels were more stable throughout the day. No more 3 p.m. slump that sent her running for the vending machine. And by the end of the first month, she stepped on the scale. Down 6 pounds. 6 pounds after months of being stuck. It was the same remedy, the same ingredients. The only thing that changed was the timing. She aligned her actions with her body's natural biology instead of fighting against it. Sarah didn't need to try harder. She needed to try smarter. This morning ritual fundamentally recalibrates the hormones that control hunger. It helps suppress ghrelin, the I'm hungry hormone, and supports leptin, the I'm full hormone. By starting your day this way, you're not just playing defense against future cravings. You're playing offense. You're telling your body from the moment you wake up that you are in control, that you are nourished, and that you do not need to send out frantic hunger signals. You are setting the stage for a day of mindful eating, not a day of reactive, desperate snacking. Furthermore, many of the ingredients will be combining have a thermogenic effect, meaning they slightly raise your body's core temperature and, in turn, your metabolic rate. Your body's metabolism naturally starts to ramp up in the morning, Taking a thermogenic remedy during this time is like pouring a little gasoline on a fire that's already starting to build. You're amplifying a natural process, getting more bang for your buck, and turning your body into a more efficient furnace for hours to come. So, the rule is simple and absolute. The first thing that passes your lips in the morning, after maybe a plain glass of water, is this remedy. Within 30 to 60 minutes of waking. No exceptions. This isn't just a suggestion. It is the core principle that makes the entire system work. It primes your hormones, optimizes your insulin sensitivity, and capitalizes on your natural cortisol rhythm to turn your body into a fat-burning machine from the moment you wake up. But getting the timing right is only half the battle, because even if you drink this at the perfect moment, using the wrong amount can stall your progress or even be counterproductive. Too little, and you won't trigger the thermogenic or hormonal benefits. Too much, and you could upset your system. There's a sweet spot dosage, a precise ratio of these ingredients that maximizes fat burning without any negative side effects, and that exact measurement is what we're breaking down next. So let's pull back the curtain on this metabolic symphony. This isn't a recipe you just eyeball. This is a formula. It's a carefully calibrated protocol where each component is measured with intention, because we're not just mixing flavors. We are orchestrating a complex biochemical reaction inside your body. Get one part wrong and the entire effect can be diminished or worse, counterproductive. Think of it like a key. A key with one ridge filed down just a millimeter too far won't open the lock. Our bodies are the same. We need the precise key to unlock our fat-burning potential. The foundation of our formula, the liquid base, is 12 ounces of warm water. Notice I said warm, not hot and not cold. This is the first critical detail. Cold water can actually cause the blood vessels in your stomach to constrict, slowing down digestion and absorption. We want our system open and receptive. Hot or boiling water, on the other hand, can degrade the delicate enzymes and volatile compounds we're about to add, particularly the vitamin C in the lemon and the active gingerols in the ginger. We're aiming for a temperature around 110 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit, warm enough to be soothing and promote absorption, but cool enough to preserve the integrity of every single ingredient. This is our canvas. Now for the first active ingredient, freshly squeezed lemon juice. The precise amount you need is 1 tablespoon. Not half a lemon, not a quarter of a lemon, because lemons vary wildly in size and juice content. 1 tablespoon. This gives us a consistent, measurable dose of citric acid. And here's why that's so important. The citric acid cycle, also known as the Krebs cycle, is the central metabolic pathway in all aerobic organisms. It's literally the engine in your cells that converts food into energy. By introducing a clean, direct source of citric acid first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, you are essentially jump-starting that engine. You're providing the initial spark that gets the whole energy production assembly line moving. Too little, and the effect is negligible. Too much, say the juice of a whole lemon, and the high acidity can cause enamel erosion on your teeth over time, and potential gastric distress for those with sensitive stomachs. 1 tablespoon is the sweet spot, enough to signal the Krebs cycle to fire up, without overwhelming the system. Next, we introduce the thermogenic powerhouse, ground cayenne pepper. This is where precision is absolutely paramount. The amount we need is just 1/8 of a teaspoon. That's a tiny pinch. It might seem insignificant, but at a cellular level, it's a seismic event. The active compound capsaicin is what we're after. When capsaicin enters your system, it binds to a receptor called TRPV1. This is the same receptor that detects scalding heat. Your brain interprets this signal as warning, internal temperature rising. In response, it triggers a cooling mechanism. Your heart rate increases slightly, your circulation improves, and your body begins to burn energy, calories, to produce sweat and cool you down. This process is called diet-induced thermogenesis. We are tricking the body into revving up its internal furnace. Now, why only 1/8 of a teaspoon? Because this is a classic case of what scientists call hormesis, a beneficial effect from a low dose of an agent that would be toxic or harmful at a higher dose. A 1/4 teaspoon or more could cause significant stomach burning, acid reflux, and discomfort. 1/8 of a teaspoon is the minimal effective dose. It's just enough to flip the thermogenic switch without setting off all the fire alarms. It's a whisper to your metabolism, not a scream. Now we need to balance that heat. We bring in our third ingredient, freshly grated ginger. We need exactly 1/2 of a teaspoon. Ginger contains powerful compounds called gingerols and showgales, which serve 2 critical functions in this formula. First, they are themselves mildly thermogenic. Working in synergy with the capsaicin from the cayenne, they amplify the heat-generating signal, making the overall effect greater than the sum of its parts. But more importantly, ginger is one of the most potent gastroprotective agents found in nature. It soothes the stomach lining, aids in digestion, and reduces nausea. It's the built-in safety net for the cayenne pepper. It allows us to get the metabolic benefits of the capsaicin, while the gingerols work to ensure our digestive system remains calm and comfortable. It's the perfect partnership of fire and comfort. Using too much ginger can lead to a very strong, almost overpowering spicy flavor and, in rare cases, mild heartburn. Half a teaspoon provides all the protective and synergistic benefits without dominating the blend. Make sure it's freshly grated, not powdered. The fresh root contains the most potent, bioavailable gingerols. Our fourth and final active ingredient is the metabolic regulator, Ceylon cinnamon. The amount needed is 1/4 teaspoon. And I must stress it has to be Ceylon cinnamon, not the more common cassia cinnamon you find in most grocery stores. This is not a trivial distinction. It is a critical health and safety measure. Cassia cinnamon contains high levels of a compound called coumarin, which can be toxic to the liver in high or sustained doses. Ceylon cinnamon, often called true cinnamon, contains only trace amounts of coumarin, making it safe for daily use. The purpose of cinnamon in this formula is to manage your blood sugar and insulin response. The compounds in Ceylon cinnamon have been shown to mimic insulin, improving glucose uptake by your cells. This means that when you do eat your first meal, the energy is more likely to be shuttled into your muscles for use, rather than being stored as fat. It helps prevent that dreaded mid-morning energy crash that comes from a blood sugar spike. 1/4 teaspoon is the clinically supported dosage for these benefits. It's enough to have a meaningful impact on your glucose metabolism for the hours that follow. This single ingredient transforms the drink from just a thermogenic booster into a comprehensive metabolic support formula, setting you up for a day of stable energy and reduced cravings. So let's recap the formula, the precise blueprint. 12 ounces of warm water, 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, 1/8 teaspoon of ground cayenne pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of freshly grated ginger, and 1/4 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon. Each ingredient is a piece of a puzzle, and each measurement is the specific shape that piece needs to be to fit perfectly with the others. This isn't just a random concoction. It's a finely tuned liquid tool. It kickstarts your cellular engines, it activates thermogenesis, it protects your digestive system, and it regulates your blood sugar. It prepares your body on a physiological level to be an efficient fat-burning machine for the rest of the day. But simply mixing these ingredients together is only half the battle. When you drink this, and how you integrate it into your morning routine is just as crucial as the formula itself. The timing can literally make or break its effectiveness, and that's the secret we're unlocking next. So let's talk timing. Think of your body when you first wake up. It's in a unique, powerful state. You've been fasting for 8 hours, hopefully more. Your insulin levels are at their lowest point of the day. Your digestive system is clear. Your body is essentially a clean slate, primed and ready for instruction. This period, roughly the first hour you are awake, is what I call the metabolic golden window. What you do in this window sends a powerful signal to your body that dictates how it uses energy for the rest of the day. You can either tell it to continue burning fat for fuel, or you can slam the brakes on that process and tell it to start storing energy instead. This morning remedy is designed to be the ultimate fat-burning signal, but only if you send it at the right time. If you drink this elixir after a bowl of cereal or a piece of toast, you've missed the window completely. The sugar and carbohydrates from your breakfast will have already spiked your insulin, effectively shutting down your body's fat-burning machinery. The potent ingredients in our drink will be forced to compete with the food in your stomach. Their absorption will be blunted, and their thermogenic effect will be a tiny flicker instead of a roaring flame. You'll get some anti-inflammatory benefits, sure, but the profound metabolic impact we're aiming for will be lost. The timing isn't just a suggestion, it's the entire strategy. Here is the exact, non-negotiable morning protocol to follow to unlock the full potential of this remedy. This is the ritual that turns a simple drink into a transformative daily habit. Step 1. Wake up. Before your feet even hit the floor, before you check your phone, before you let the day's anxieties rush in, your first action is to drink a glass of plain room temperature water. Not cold water, we don't want to shock the system. Just 8 to 12 ounces of simple, clean water. This isn't just about hydration. It's a gentle awakening for your internal organs. It flushes the digestive system, rehydrates your cells after a long night's rest, and prepares the lining of your stomach for the potent ingredients that are about to follow. Think of it as rinsing the engine before you put in the high-octane fuel. Step 2. Wait. After you've had your glass of water, you do not immediately mix the remedy. You wait for 15 to 20 minutes. This is a crucial, often overlooked step. This waiting period gives your body time to fully absorb the water, allowing it to move from your stomach into your system. It ensures that when our remedy enters your stomach, it does so on its own terms, into a clean and receptive environment. During these 15 minutes, you can do some light stretching, meditate for a few moments, or simply sit and enjoy the quiet of the morning. You are creating a deliberate space between waking and fueling. This is your time. Step 3. Prepare and consume. Now, after your 15-minute wait, you go to the kitchen and mix your remedy. You use the warm, not boiling water as we discussed. You stir in the potent golden orange paste of turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, and black pepper. You add that squeeze of lemon and the dash of cayenne. You stir it mindfully. As you drink it, don't just chug it down. Savor it. Feel the warmth spread through your chest. Feel the gentle kick from the cayenne and ginger. You are intentionally starting your day by flooding your body with anti-inflammatory, metabolism-boosting compounds. This is an act of self-care. It's a declaration to yourself and your body that your health is a priority. Step 4. The activation window. This is the final and most important piece of the timing puzzle. After you finish your drink, you must wait at least 30 to 45 minutes before you eat anything else. This is the activation window. During this time, the magic is happening. The curcumin from the turmeric, supercharged by the piperine from the black pepper, is being absorbed into your bloodstream to fight inflammation. The gingerols from the ginger are soothing your digestive tract and firing up your digestive enzymes. And most importantly, the capsaicin from the cayenne pepper is kickstarting thermogenesis, telling your body's internal furnace to crank up the heat. Your body begins to burn extra calories just to regulate its temperature. By waiting to eat, you are allowing these compounds to work unopposed. Your body's entire focus is on absorbing and utilizing these powerful ingredients to their fullest extent. It's not distracted by digesting protein, fats, or carbohydrates from a meal. This is when your metabolism receives that clear, powerful signal to start burning your stored body fat for energy. If you eat immediately after, you interfere with that signal. The presence of food, especially carbs, will trigger an insulin release, which is the hormonal off switch for fat burning. That 30-minute window is the key that unlocks the door to all-day fat metabolism. This entire 4-step process, water, wait, remedy, wait, should take about an hour from the moment you wake up. And it completely re-engineers your morning and your metabolism. It's not just about what you're putting in your body, but about honoring your body's natural biological rhythms. You are working with your circadian rhythm, not against it. Your body is naturally designed to have a period of fasting and a period of feeding. This ritual extends that beneficial fasting period by just a little bit longer, while simultaneously supercharging your metabolic engine. Think about the psychology of this. When you start your day with such a deliberate, powerful, and healthy action, you set a precedent. You've already achieved a significant win for your health before most people have even had their first sip of coffee. This single act creates a positive ripple effect. You're more likely to make healthier choices for breakfast. You're more likely to feel energized and want to move your body. You're more likely to drink more water throughout the day. It builds momentum. This one ritual becomes the anchor for a healthier lifestyle. It's a daily reminder of your commitment to yourself. Now let's quickly address the common pitfalls. The number 1 mistake is inconsistency. Doing this for 2 days and then skipping 3 won't work. The benefits are cumulative. The anti-inflammatory effects build up over time, and your metabolism learns to expect this morning boost. Commit to it for 30 days straight and you will see and feel a profound difference. The second mistake, as we've covered, is drinking it with or immediately before food. Respect the activation window. The third mistake is adding sweeteners. Do not add honey, maple syrup, or sugar to this drink. That completely defeats the purpose by creating an insulin spike. If you absolutely cannot handle the taste initially, a pinch of pure stevia or monk fruit is acceptable. But the goal should be to acclimate your palate to the natural, savory, and spicy flavor of the remedy. It's the taste of something that is actively healing you from the inside out. So you have the formula. You now have the precise, non-negotiable timing and the daily ritual to make it work. You've successfully ignited your metabolic furnace first thing in the morning, and your body is in a prime fat-burning state. But this is a delicate state. The very next thing you do, the food you choose to break your fast with, is arguably the most important decision you'll make all day. You can either pour gasoline on that metabolic fire, turning it into a raging inferno that lasts for hours, or you can douse it with a bucket of cold water, extinguishing it instantly. The perfect metabolic breakfast is not what you've been told. It's not a bowl of oatmeal or a piece of fruit. It's a specific combination of nutrients designed to keep that fat-burning switch flipped on, and we're going to build that perfect plate component by component right now. The first component, the absolute non-negotiable foundation of your fat-burning breakfast, is protein. And I don't mean a sprinkle of it. I mean making it the star of the show. Think of protein as the foreman on your body's construction site. It's in charge. It builds and repairs everything from muscle tissue to your hair and nails. But for weight loss, its superpowers are even more profound. First, protein is the king of satiety. That's the feeling of being full and satisfied. When you eat a protein-rich meal, your body releases hormones like peptide YY, which tells your brain, hey, we're good here. No need to eat for a while. At the same time, it suppresses the hunger hormone ghrelin. This isn't just a feeling. It's a powerful hormonal signal that shuts down cravings before they even start. Imagine going from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. without once thinking about that vending machine down the hall. That's the power of protein. Second, there's something called the thermic effect of food, or TEF. It sounds complicated, but it's simple. Your body burns calories just to digest and process the food you eat. And protein has the highest thermic effect of all macronutrients. Your body uses up to 30% of the calories from the protein you eat just to break it down. So if you eat 100 calories of pure protein, you're only netting about 70 of those calories. Compare that to carbs and fats, which have a TEF of only 5 to 10% and 0 to 3% respectively. Eating protein literally turns up your metabolic furnace. So what does this look like on your plate? We're talking about the humble, incredible egg. For decades, we were told to fear the yolk, to only eat the whites. That was some of the worst nutritional advice in modern history. The yolk is where the magic is. It's packed with choline for brain health, vitamins A, D, and K, and healthy fats that help regulate your hormones. The cholesterol in eggs has been shown to have very little impact on blood cholesterol in the vast majority of people. So please eat the whole egg. 3 of them is a perfect start. Another powerhouse is plain, full-fat Greek yogurt. Not the flavored kind that's loaded with sugar, but the thick, tangy, real stuff. It's packed with protein and probiotics for a healthy gut. Cottage cheese is another fantastic option, especially the 4% or full-fat versions. Now for the second component of our perfect plate, fiber. If protein is the foreman, fiber is the traffic cop for your bloodstream. Its main job at breakfast is to slow everything down. When you eat carbohydrates, they get broken down into sugar or glucose, which enters your bloodstream. If this happens too quickly, like when you drink a glass of orange juice or eat a sugary cereal, you get a massive spike in blood sugar. Your body panics and releases a flood of the fat storage hormone, insulin, to deal with it. Insulin's job is to get that sugar out of the blood and into your cells, and any excess gets stored as fat. This is the hormonal roller coaster that leads to a mid-morning energy crash and intense cravings for more sugar. Fiber prevents this. By slowing down the absorption of sugar, it ensures a slow, steady release of energy. No spike, no crash, no fat storage. Keeps you on an even keel. But not all fiber is created equal for this job. We want to focus on sources that are also low in sugar. This is where things like chia seeds and ground flax seeds are absolute superstars. A tablespoon or 2 can be added to anything: yogurt, a smoothie, even sprinkled over your eggs. They swell up in your stomach, making you feel even fuller, and they're loaded with healthy fats. Avocado is another champion. It's technically a fruit, but it's packed with fiber and heart-healthy monounsaturated fats. Half an avocado on the side of your eggs is a game changer for staying full until lunch. And let's not forget non-starchy vegetables. A handful of spinach or kale wilted into your scramble, or some bell peppers and onions, adds a significant fiber boost with almost no calories or sugar. This is why a bowl of fruit, even though it has fiber, isn't the ideal breakfast. A banana or an apple is still high in sugar and can start that blood sugar roller coaster, especially when eaten alone. We're looking for fiber that comes with a low sugar price tag. That brings us to our third and final component, the one that has been wrongfully villainized for half a century: healthy fat. Let me be crystal clear. Eating fat does not make you fat. Eating the wrong kinds of carbs and sugar makes you fat by spiking insulin. Healthy fats are your friend. In fact, they are absolutely essential for a body that burns fat efficiently. Why? Because your hormones are literally made from fat and cholesterol. Hormones that control your metabolism, your stress levels, and your reproductive health all depend on you eating enough healthy fat. Starving your body of fat is like trying to build a brick house without any bricks. It just doesn't work. Fat is also the most energy-dense macronutrient, which is a good thing. It digests very slowly, providing a long-lasting, stable source of energy. It's the log on the fire that burns for hours, whereas sugar is the kindling that flares up and burns out in minutes. This is why a low-fat breakfast, like a dry bagel or a bowl of Special K with skim milk, leaves you starving an hour later. There's no staying power. So, where do we get these healthy fats? We've already mentioned some. The yolk of the egg, the full-fat Greek yogurt, the avocado, the chia and flax seeds. Nuts like almonds and walnuts are fantastic. A tablespoon of almond butter or peanut butter. Making sure the only ingredients are nuts and maybe salt is a great addition. And don't be afraid to cook your eggs in a little bit of real butter, ghee, or coconut oil. These stable saturated fats are not the enemy we were led to believe they are. So let's put it all together. The magic formula, the acronym I want you to burn into your brain is PFF, protein, fiber, and fat. Every single breakfast you eat should be built on these three pillars. Let's build a few perfect PFF plates right now. Plate number 1. The metabolic scramble. 3 whole eggs scrambled with a giant handful of spinach and a 1/4 cup of chopped bell peppers, cooked in a teaspoon of butter. On the side, half an avocado sprinkled with a little salt and pepper. Let's break it down. Protein from the eggs. Fiber from the spinach, peppers, and avocado. Healthy fat from the egg yolks, the butter, and the avocado. This plate will keep you full, focused, and in fat-burning mode for at least 4 to 5 hours. Plate number 2, the power parfait. Take 1 cup of full-fat plain Greek yogurt. Stir in 1 tablespoon of chia seeds and 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed. Let it sit for a few minutes so the seeds can start to gel. Then top it with a small handful of berries like raspberries or blueberries, and a sprinkle of chopped walnuts. Let's check the PFF score. Protein from the yogurt. Fiber from the chia seeds, flax seeds, berries, and walnuts. Fat from the full-fat yogurt, the seeds, and the walnuts. This is a breakfast that tastes like a treat, but works like a furnace for your metabolism. And for those busy mornings, plate number 3. The Quick Start Smoothie. In a blender, combine 1 scoop of a high-quality, low-sugar protein powder, whey or a good plant-based one. Add a big tablespoon of almond butter, a tablespoon of ground flaxseed, a giant handful of kale or spinach, you won't even taste it, I promise, and about a cup of unsweetened almond or coconut milk. Blend it until it's smooth. PFF check. Protein from the powder. Fiber from the flaxseed and the greens. Fat from the almond butter and the flaxseed. You can drink this in 5 minutes, and it will give you more sustained energy and fat-burning potential than any breakfast bar or bowl of cereal on the market. Contrast these PFF plates with the standard American breakfast. A bowl of Frosted Flakes with skim milk and a glass of orange juice. That's a triple shot of pure sugar. It's a hormonal disaster that spikes your insulin through the roof, slams the door shut on fat burning, and sets you up for a day of cravings and energy crashes. A bagel with low-fat cream cheese? It's just a round piece of bread. A refined carbohydrate that hits your bloodstream almost as fast as pure sugar. A smoothie from a popular chain? It's often a 400-calorie cup of fruit juice concentrate, sugar-laden sorbet, and maybe a tiny scoop of low-quality protein. It's a milkshake masquerading as a health food. By understanding the PFF principle, you can now see these foods for what they are: metabolic saboteurs. You've just armed yourself with the knowledge to sidestep these traps and build a breakfast that truly works for you, not against you. This single change, mastering your breakfast, is the first and most critical step in this entire process. It sets the hormonal tone for the entire day. But what if I told you that when you eat this perfect breakfast could be just as important, if not more important, than what is on the plate? There's a specific window of time, a rhythm your body is naturally designed to follow, that can amplify all of these results. It can turn your fat-burning furnace up even higher, and it has nothing to do with counting calories or starving yourself. It's about working with your body's ancient, hardwired clock. And that is exactly what we're going to unlock next. Inside every single one of us, deep within our DNA, is a master clock. Think of it like a conductor of a grand orchestra, located in a tiny region of your brain. This conductor doesn't use a baton. It uses light and darkness. And the orchestra isn't made of violins and cellos. It's made of your organs, your hormones, and your trillions of cells. Every single organ, your liver, your pancreas, your stomach, has its own little clock, its own little musician. But they all listen to the master conductor in your brain. This entire system, this beautiful, intricate symphony of internal timekeeping, is called your circadian rhythm. For thousands of generations, this rhythm was perfectly in sync with the rising and setting of the sun. Our ancestors woke with the light, their bodies primed for activity. Cortisol, the get-up-and-go hormone, would surge, waking them up and making them alert. Their digestive systems would fire up, ready to process food for energy. Their insulin sensitivity would be at its peak, meaning their bodies were incredibly efficient at using carbohydrates for fuel instead of storing them as fat. And as the sun went down, the master clock would signal for a change. Cortisol would drop, melatonin, the sleep hormone, would rise, and the body's repair and recovery systems would kick into gear. Digestion would slow down because why would you need to digest a big meal when you're about to go into a state of rest and repair for 8 hours? This system is one of the most powerful and most overlooked forces in human health and specifically in weight management. It's the operating system that runs in the background of your life. But here's the problem. In our modern world, we've declared war on our own biology. We've thrown a wrench into the gears of this ancient clock. When the sun goes down, what do? We turn on bright lights. We stare into the glowing blue light of our phones, our tablets, our televisions. This light screams to the master clock in our brain. It's still daytime. Stay awake. Keep the energy systems running. Then we eat a late dinner or have a midnight snack. We're telling our digestive system, which was supposed to be in its quiet restorative phase, hey, wake up. I know it's 10 p.m., but you've got a big job to do. Imagine telling a factory's night shift cleaning crew that they suddenly have to run the entire assembly line. It would be chaos. Things would get messy, inefficient, and mistakes would be made. That is exactly what's happening inside your body. When you eat late at night, your insulin sensitivity is at its lowest. Your body is metabolically sluggish. It's not prepared to handle that food efficiently. So what does it do? Takes the easy way out. It shuttles those calories straight into your fat cells for storage. You could be eating the exact same number of calories as someone else, but if your timing is off, you will gain weight while they lose it. This isn't about willpower. It's about wiring. You're fighting against millions of years of evolution, and it's a fight you are destined to lose unless you start working with your clock, not against it. This is where the remedy we've crafted becomes more than just a collection of powerful ingredients. It becomes a tool for resetting your internal clock. The ingredients are the fuel, but the timing is the ignition. Taking this potent mixture at the right time of day sends a powerful signal to your entire metabolic orchestra, telling it exactly how to play the music of fat burning. So what is the golden hour? It's the first 30 to 60 minutes after you wake up. Before coffee, before breakfast, before you do anything else. This is non-negotiable. Let's break down why this is so critical. When you wake up, your body is in a naturally fasted state. Your cortisol levels are at their peak to help you wake up. By drinking our remedy first thing, you are accomplishing several crucial things simultaneously. First, the apple cider vinegar and lemon juice go to work on your blood sugar. Instead of starting your day with something that spikes your insulin, like a sugary coffee or a pastry, you are starting with ingredients that have been clinically shown to improve insulin sensitivity and blunt blood sugar spikes. You are essentially telling your body, we are going to be burning fat for fuel today, not storing sugar. You are setting the metabolic tone for the next 12 to 16 hours. Second, you're hydrating your system after a long night's rest and kickstarting your digestive tract gently. The ingredients help stimulate the production of stomach acid and digestive enzymes, preparing your body to efficiently break down and absorb the nutrients from your first meal of the day, whenever that may be. This prevents bloating and ensures you get the maximum value from your food. Third, by introducing these components before coffee, you are buffering your system. Many people drink coffee on an empty stomach, which can cause an exaggerated cortisol spike, leading to jitters, anxiety, and a crash later on. This exaggerated stress response can also signal your body to hold on to stubborn belly fat. Our remedy helps to moderate this response, creating a more stable, calm, and focused energy throughout the morning. Now, to truly supercharge this effect and turn your body into an absolute fat-burning machine, we can pair this morning ritual with a simple yet profoundly effective strategy: time-restricted eating. This might sound intimidating, but it's the simplest concept in the world. It's not a diet. It's a pattern of eating. All you do is create a consistent eating window and a fasting window each day. The most popular and sustainable method is the 16:8 split. This means you fast for 16 hours and you eat all of your meals within an 8-hour window. For example, you could have your first meal at 12 noon and your last meal at 8 p.m. That's it. Outside of that window, you consume only water, black coffee, herbal tea, and of course our morning remedy. What happens during those 16 hours of fasting is pure magic. With no food coming in, your insulin levels plummet. This is the green light your body has been waiting for. It signals your fat cells to open their doors and release their stored energy. Your body shifts from being a sugar burner to a fat burner. This process, called metabolic switching, is like discovering a new, cleaner, more efficient fuel source that was locked away inside you all along. During this fasted state, your body also ramps up a process called autophagy, which is like a cellular spring cleaning. Your cells identify and discard old, damaged components, making way for new, healthier ones. It's a fundamental process for anti-aging and disease prevention. So imagine this 1-2 punch. You wake up, drink our metabolic priming remedy to stabilize blood sugar, and fire up your fat-burning pathways. Then you ride that wave for a few hours, allowing your body to feast on its own stored fat during the morning fasting period. When you do have your first meal, your body is incredibly insulin sensitive and ready to use that food for immediate energy. You've aligned your eating patterns with your body's ancient, hardwired clock. You've stopped fighting your biology and started working in perfect harmony with it. This isn't about restriction. It's about rhythm. It's about giving your digestive system a much-needed rest so your body can focus on the critical work of repair, rejuvenation, and fat burning. This combination of the right ingredients at the right time is the key that unlocks effortless, sustainable weight loss. It's how you fix the broken metabolic clock that modern life has sabotaged. But here's a word of caution. Even with the perfect ingredients and the perfect timing, there is one final critical piece of the puzzle. It's a silent saboteur that can completely negate all of your hard work. It's a single element, commonly found in almost every American kitchen, that people add to their food and drinks without a second thought, believing it's harmless or even healthy. This one thing can slam the brakes on your metabolism, spike your insulin, and kick you out of fat-burning mode in an instant, even in tiny amounts. And understanding what it is and how to avoid it is the final secret we need to uncover. The ingredient I'm talking about is the master of disguise. It's a saboteur hiding in plain sight, lurking in foods that scream healthy from the supermarket shelves. It's the invisible anchor weighing you down, making every effort you make feel like you're running in quicksand. This metabolic monster, this hidden enemy, is processed sugar, and more specifically, its hyper-concentrated, weaponized forms that have infiltrated over 80% of the products in a typical American grocery store. And I'm not just talking about the obvious culprits like soda, candy, or ice cream. We all know those are bad. I'm talking about a much more sinister deception. I'm talking about the sugars you don't even know you're eating. The ones in your pasta sauce, your whole wheat bread, your low-fat yogurt, and even your salad dressing. To understand why this is the ultimate weight loss killer, you have to understand what it does to your body on a hormonal level. Think of your body as a highly sophisticated hybrid engine. It can run on 2 types of fuel: sugar, which is glucose for quick, immediate energy, or fat for long-lasting, steady energy. Your goal for weight loss is to get your body to burn its stored fat. But there's a master switch that determines which fuel source your body uses. And that switch is controlled by a hormone called insulin. When you eat carbohydrates, especially simple processed sugars, your blood sugar level spikes. In response, your pancreas releases insulin. Insulin's job is to take that sugar out of your bloodstream and deliver it to your cells for energy. But here's the critical part. Any excess sugar that your cells don't need immediately gets converted and stored. First, in your liver and muscles as glycogen, but those storage tanks are small. Once they're full, and with the modern American diet they're almost always full, insulin has a new directive. It becomes the fat storage foreman. It signals your body to take all that extra sugar and convert it directly into body fat. But it gets worse. While insulin is high, it literally locks your fat cells shut. It puts a biological padlock on them. It sends a loud and clear signal to your entire system. Stop burning fat. We are in storage mode. So, it doesn't matter if you just went for a run, it doesn't matter if you're eating at a calorie deficit. If your insulin is spiked from hidden sugars, your body's ability to access and burn its own fat stores is slammed shut. You are physically incapable of burning fat while insulin is elevated. This is the biological reality that so many diets fail to address. They focus only on calories but ignore the hormonal instruction that those calories provide. Now think about what happens next. You eat that seemingly healthy granola bar or flavored yogurt. You get a massive sugar rush followed by a huge insulin spike. Your body shoves all that sugar into storage. But because the spike was so high and so fast, the insulin overcorrects, pulls too much sugar out of your blood. And about 90 minutes to 2 hours later, your blood sugar crashes. This is the hangry feeling. You suddenly feel exhausted, irritable, your brain gets foggy, and you get an intense, almost primal craving. And what does your body crave in that moment? Not a steak or a salad. It craves the one thing that can fix the problem the fastest: more sugar. So you reach for another quick fix, another healthy snack loaded with hidden sugar, and the entire vicious cycle starts all over again. It's a hormonal roller coaster that keeps you locked in a state of constant craving, energy crashes, and most importantly, continuous fat storage. You're not weak-willed. You are caught in a biological trap set by the food you're eating. The food industry knows this. They are masters of food chemistry. They know that sugar, particularly high fructose corn syrup, is incredibly cheap and incredibly addictive. It lights up the same reward centers in your brain as hard drugs. So they hide it. They disguise it. They want you to stay on that roller coaster because it keeps you coming back for more. They've created a secret language on the ingredient label, a list of aliases for sugar, to confuse you. When you're reading a label, you're not just looking for the word sugar. You need to become a detective. Look for dextrose, fructose, galactose, lactose, maltose, sucrose. Look for cane juice, dehydrated cane juice crystals, or evaporated cane juice. Look for corn syrup solids, or the big one, high fructose corn syrup. But they don't stop there. Look for barley malt, beet sugar, caramel, diastase, ethyl maltol, fruit juice concentrate, glucose solids, golden syrup, maltodextrin, sorghum syrup, or turbinado sugar. There are over 60 different names for sugar, and they will often use 3 or 4 different types in a single product. Why? So that none of them appear as the first or second ingredient on the list, further deceiving you into thinking the product isn't that high in sugar. It's in places you would never expect. That jar of marinara sauce? It can have more sugar than a bowl of Fruit Loops. That bottle of French dressing you're pouring on your healthy salad? It's loaded. The whole wheat bread you think is a good choice is often packed with it to make it more palatable. Ketchup, barbecue sauce, teriyaki sauce, they are basically sugar sauces. Sports drinks are liquid candy. Even savory items like crackers, canned soups, and frozen dinners are filled with it. You have been systematically conditioned to crave sweetness in everything, and it is sabotaging your health and your weight loss journey from the inside out. So, what is the final piece of the puzzle? It's not just about adding our remedy to your morning routine. It's about combining the power of that remedy with the power of this new knowledge. Now it all makes sense. The apple cider vinegar and cinnamon in our remedy? They are metabolic powerhouses specifically because they help to manage and stabilize your blood sugar response. They help to flatten that insulin curve, to prevent the massive spikes that lock your fat cells. They are your first line of defense against the hormonal chaos caused by hidden sugar. The ginger and cayenne? They fire up your metabolism, turning up your internal furnace, which is exactly what you need to counteract the metabolic slowdown caused by that constant sugar roller coaster. The lemon and the turmeric? They help your liver, the primary organ responsible for processing all this sugar, to detoxify and function properly. They help reduce the inflammation that a high-sugar diet creates throughout your body. Our home remedy isn't a magic pill. It's a support system. It's the tool you use to arm your body, to help it win the war against hidden sugar. It helps crush the cravings, stabilize your energy, and keep your metabolism burning hot while you do the most important work, becoming a conscious consumer. The true final remedy is taking back control. It's walking into the grocery store with your eyes wide open. It's turning over the box, ignoring the flashy health claims on the front, and reading that tiny print on the back. It's learning the secret language of the food industry and refusing to be tricked any longer. This is the key that unlocks everything. You can drink this remedy every single day, but if you continue to pour gasoline on the fire by consuming hidden sugars, you will be stuck. But when you combine the two, when you fuel your body with this powerful natural tonic and you starve the enemy by cutting off its supply of hidden sugar, that is when the magic happens. That is when the fat seems to melt away effortlessly. That is when your energy levels skyrocket and stay stable all day long. That is when the brain fog lifts and you feel a clarity you haven't felt in years. You break free from the prison of cravings and start eating because your body needs fuel, not because your hormones are screaming for a fix. Your body wants to be lean. It wants to be healthy. Its natural state is to be a fat-burning machine. You just have to get out of its way. Stop throwing that metabolic wrench, hidden sugar, into the gears. Start your day with our simple, powerful remedy to support your system. And then spend the rest of your day making conscious choices, reading labels, and choosing real whole foods. This is the path to not just losing weight, but to reclaiming your health, your energy, and your life. You have the knowledge. You have the recipe. The power is and always has been in your hands.